Today, we're diving into something a little unsettling, but honestly super fascinating, dark psychology. So let's just jump right in and figure out what that really means.
You know that feeling, right, when you feel like you're being manipulated, but you just can't quite put your finger on how it's happening? That weird, unsettling feeling? Yeah, that is at the absolute core of what we're talking about today.
So, okay, what are we actually talking about here? Dark psychology? It's not just, people being mean or behaving badly. It's the specific study of this human impulse to prey on other people. And the reasons why? Well, they're not always so clear. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The core idea here is that this dark potential, it isn't just in a few bad apples. Nope. The source we're looking at argues it's a universal human thing. It's inside all of us. The only real difference is that most of us, well, we learn to keep it in check, while some people, they choose to act on it.
All right, so let's break this down even more. What exactly is this dark side of our nature?
The way the source material frames this is like a constant battle going on inside of us, which this image really captures perfectly, right? On one side, you've got all the things society builds, laws, morals, all the rules we make to live peacefully. But on the other side, you have this raw, almost predatory instinct, a part of us that can be cruel, deceitful, and is always fighting to be free from those very rules.
And that leads us to a pretty intense question. What if all this civilization stuff isn't our natural state at all? What if it's just a thin layer, a fragile cage that we've built to hold back our more primal, more predatory instincts? That's a tough one to think about for sure.
So, how does this dark side actually, manifest? How do people use it to influence others? Okay, let's open up what we're calling the manipulator's playbook. The really key term here is covert manipulation. The power here isn't about using obvious force. It's all about hidden influence. It's about controlling a situation or even a person's decisions without them having a clue that they're being controlled.
And it's laid out as a surprisingly simple three-step formula. Step 1, build rapport. Make you feel comfortable, safe, compliments, shared jokes, that kind of thing. Then, step 2, bypass your critical thinking. They use phrases like what if or just imagine to get you out of your logical brain and into your imagination. And finally, once your guard is down, bam, step 3, they insert the suggestion. They make their command or describe what they want you to do. It's subtle, but man, is it effective.
And here are some of the specific tools they pull from that playbook. You see the big stuff, like propaganda on a mass scale, but also much more personal tactics. Take Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP. That uses specific language patterns to get inside your head. Then you've got the really controversial methods from so-called pickup artists, which are all about romantic persuasion. But look, no matter the tool, the goal is always the same, to influence you without you ever noticing.
So that begs the obvious question, right? Who are the people most likely to actually use these methods?
Well, the source gives us a pretty direct list. It starts with what you might expect. Clinical profiles like narcissists and sociopaths, people who often lack remorse. But then, look at this. It includes whole professions where persuasion is just part of the job. Attorneys, politicians, salespeople, leaders, public speakers. And the last category? It might be the biggest one of all. Just selfish people.
Okay, so from a politician who wants your vote to a narcissist who just needs validation, what's the one thing that connects them all? What's their real intention?
At the end of the day, it's all about creating what you see here, a win-lose situation. The manipulator's goal is to get what they want, period. And if that happens to come at your expense, so what? They are perfectly fine with that. It is a fundamentally self-serving way of looking at the world.
Okay, I know, this has all been pretty heavy, but here's the good news. You are not helpless in this. Not at all. The source material also lays out some really clear strategies on how you can protect yourself.
And you know what? It all starts with one simple but incredibly powerful idea: awareness. Just knowing these tactics exist, knowing that people use them, that is your single greatest defense. It really is like flipping a switch and turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, all the shadows just disappear. So, building on that awareness, here are 3 key strategies. First, you've got to study their methods so you can recognize them when they're happening. Second, don't be afraid to be assertive. If you see someone trying to misdirect you, call it out. And third, and this is a big one, build strong personal boundaries. You have to decide for yourself what you will and will not accept, and then you have to stick to it. And all of this brings us right back where we started, to that big central question. Are we really civilized, or are we just predators, tamed by a very fragile society we built ourselves? It's a really powerful thought to leave you with.